Good evening to all of you. Is this all the crowd? So you might want to just come forward and sit so that it makes things easy for me and for you as well. Thank you. I see some familiar faces. But yeah, thanks for joining in today. So today I'm going to talk to you about from low code to high control using Oracle Apex. Before I get started with, I would like to take a quick poll from the audience here. How many of you don't know anything about Apex? One, two, one, two. Okay. And the remaining are like, you have been using Apex? Like, can I know, like, are you using the latest? Okay. Not latest? 5.1? Okay. 18.1, anyone? 18.2? Have anyone tried out the early adopter, 19.1? All right. Okay, so I'm going to give you some more information about the early adopter that we have come up with, and it's currently running. Apart from my session, I'll also give you some learning resources for those who are new to Apex. Safe harbor, a couple of things which I'm going to talk to you in today's session might or might not make into the main product, so please don't make any purchasing decisions based on the talk. My name is Chaitanya, and I'm the product manager for Oracle Apex. I joined Oracle in 2005 in this beautiful city, Bangalore, and I joined Oracle Apex team in 2010, and currently I'm based out of Hyderabad, and I'm part of the Apex team, which is part of the database tools group, where we have like our group deals with the SQL developer, Oracle REST data services, Apex, and I also blog on the Apex related stuff, and I'm very active on Twitter. So if you want to know anything what's happening in Apex world, you can either follow the Apex hashtag, as well as you can follow me on Twitter, so to know what's happening in Apex. All right, so today I have 45 minutes to talk to you, and I would like to focus most of the time on the demo with less focus on, like comparatively less focus on the slides, because most of you, majority of you are already aware of Apex and what it does. So I think it's time for me to showcase what I would like to do a demo, and then maybe we can come to the slides. But let me just give you a quick introduction for those of you who are completely new to Apex. My session is going to talk about Apex and low code, right? So when you typically look at the application development in an enterprise, you see that it's expensive, it's slow, and there is not much of a collaborative effort. There's a large backlog of things that happen during the application development time. And business often solves problems with wrong tools, right? The typical application development in an enterprise. And what low-code is typically is about, for most of you who already are using Apex, you know that Apex is a low-code application development framework. Oracle Apex is a low-code development platform, or a low-code application development tool for the Oracle database. So when you say low-code typically as a framework is very easy to ramp up, easy to get started with. It's super duper productive. I quickly start with, and you can be too productive on low-code. Accessible, because you build applications for not just desktop, but you also build applications for mobile devices. And it's scalable. What you build like for a small scale a use case can be extended to like a business or enterprise-wide applications. Extensible and rich functionality with less code. It's typically the characteristics of low code. Why do you use low code typically? You want to use low code to build applications faster. There are three things here. One is no code, low code, and high control. No code means absolutely zero code. I mean, you're not coding anything at all. It's just drag and drop and using wizards. And low code typically stands in between, where you actually would be using little pieces of bits and pieces of code, some snippets, some little SQL or whatever. And high control, where you have complete control or complete access to your code. You're completely coding all of the pages or all of the elements of your application. right? But why do you use low code? Typically, you want to build applications faster. You want to deliver greater quality and consistency. And you want to focus on business requirements, right? Rather than doing mundane routine tasks. The moment you want to build an application, let's say, for example, you want to build a form, you want to build a report, and the business requirements suddenly would change that you would like to add one more form or maybe one more report. So you don't want to spend your time continuously coding, and trying to generate more and more code, right? As opposed to, you would like to streamline this and try to cut down the mundane tasks or the repetitive tasks and focus on what exactly is the business problem. What exactly is the business requirement? How can my application address this particular requirement? Right? So low-code application development typically deals with, helps you to focus more on business requirements as opposed to spending your time, valuable time and resources on repetitive tasks. Leverage more developers, right? Reduce development costs. You can get things done, get more done in less time, and more productivity in less time. That's what low-code typically is. And why Oracle Apex? What is Apex typically? Apex is a low-code application development platform. I know most of us here pronounce Apex as Apex, but that's not Apex, it's Apex, right? Well, for those of you who have attended my sessions or my team member sessions in the past, you know how to pronounce it, how to spell it correctly, how to pronounce it. It's Apex, okay? So Apex is a low-code platform, is a low-code application development platform for the Oracle database. It's a no-cost feature of Oracle database. We don't call it as free. It doesn't come for free. It's part of the Oracle database. In the sense, you're paying for database support, right? Whether it's on-prem or on cloud. So when you're paying for it, Apex comes as part of the Oracle database. And so all of the support that is attributed to your Oracle database can be the same as for Apex. Okay? So it's a no-cost feature of Oracle database and runs everywhere Oracle database runs. Apex runs on-premises or on the cloud, irrespective of where exactly your applications are. You can build your applications on-premise and deploy them onto the cloud. You can build your applications on the cloud and then move them back to the on-premises. You can move your applications from one cloud to other cloud, from your private cloud to Oracle Cloud, from Oracle Cloud to Amazon, and from Amazon to your on-premises. Wherever Oracle database runs, Apex runs. Okay? And Apex is a database-centric web application development framework where you build, develop desktop and mobile web applications. I just want to quickly summarize these things for those of you who are not familiar or not aware of what Apex is all about. Okay? And then with Apex, you can visualize and maintain database data. You can build forms, you can build reports, right? You can build your SQL queries and generate reports on top of that, right? There are different types of reports that you basically build in Apex, like, for example, interactive report, which allow for end-user customization. You can also build classic reports, the typical classic reports. You can also build interactive grids, right? You can build charts of any type. You can build charts like using the Oracle Jet component. The data visualization part of Apex is typically taken care by Oracle Jet, okay? So with Apex, you can leverage your SQL skills and database capabilities. So if you're familiar with SQL and PLSQL, and if you know a little bit of Java, a little bit of CSS and HTML, you can build beautiful applications. You can build stunning scalable applications fast with Oracle Apex. All you need to know is a little bit of Java, SQL and PL/SQL experience. But Apex also caters, when you're talking about low-code application framework, Apex also is used by citizen developers who are having zero knowledge or completely no knowledge about SQL and PL/SQL, right? It's something called as a quick SQL and a SQL workshop in Apex, which you use to build shorthand SQL, and shorthand SQL will then get translated into original SQL, and then you will generate your tables, your database objects and data. On top of that, you will build your applications. So even citizen developers, from citizen developers to experts to pros, they can use Apex. What typically Apex is used for? Some of the use cases, not an exhaustive list. Spreadsheet replacement. You know that you can replace spreadsheets and turn them into beautiful web applications using Apex, right? And how many of you know about the 19.1 new features here? Okay, so just want to give you some more information for those who have been using Apex since 18.1 or 18.2. 19.1 introduced a new feature where you can drag and drop your spreadsheet into Apex interface, and you can not just drag and drop your spreadsheet, you can drag and drop your XML, you can drag and drop your JSON, and Apex will convert that into your beautiful application. It will build a table, and top of the table, it will build an application, okay? So for those of you who are interested to try this feature, I would suggest to try out on apexea.oracle.com. And the other major use case of Apex is it bridges gaps in enterprise systems. And Apex also is used to, for legacy system modernization, like your forms applications, which you have written like 10 years ago, 12 years ago. You can convert those forms into the latest Apex applications for the latest web interface. Rapid application development, large enterprise scale applications. For those of who always say that Apex is only for departmental applications, for small scale applications, definitely not. You're wrong. Apex is used to build large scale enterprise-wide applications which caters to hundreds of thousands of users. Okay, so a couple of other distinguishing characteristics of Apex. Application development. IDE is a web browser, so you don't need to use any client software at all. Everything is done through a browser. By just using a browser, you log into your workspace and you get started with application development. Irrespective of where your database and where your Apex is, all you need is a browser to connect to Apex instance and build applications on top of that. Okay? And applications definitions are stored in the database as metadata. There's no code generation. It's all completely declarative. Once you build an application in Apex, all of the application definition is stored as metadata. Or when you want to export this application, you would be typically exporting a SQL file. Like for example, you have a development instance and you have a production instance, let's say. On the development instance, can be cloud, can be on-prem, can be on XC on your laptop or your MacBook, wherever it is, right? You have a browser and you start building an application. You build an application in your workspace, and once you're done with that, you export this application as a SQL file. Now, when come back to your production instance, where you log into your production workspace, and then you import this SQL file, you import this application, and you install it, that's it, done. You have installed your Apex application. That's how you typically transfer, export, import your files. And page generation is efficient with only one request and one response. Data processing is done in the database. The Apex engine resides inside the database. Like I said, Apex is a no-cost feature of Oracle database, fully supported feature, included with Oracle Cloud Services, and very easy to install. You can rapidly develop, customize, and deliver your Apex applications, like you can move from cloud to on-prem, on-prem to cloud, wherever. What does Apex do for you? Apex gives you user interface to your applications. It provides data access. It provides visualization in the form of charts. Security, Apex comes with built-in security authentication schemes. You can also use your custom authentication schemes. You can also use your social authentication scheme. Like you can hook up your Apex applications to be signed in or to authenticated via Facebook or Google or Twitter or whatever it is. Social sign-in we call. Okay, and globalization and performance. These are the typical things which Apex does for you. Apex works on any device, not just a browser, not just your desktop, works on your smartphones. A typical three-tier architecture with majority of you are already familiar with. We have a browser and you have Oracle database with Apex on it, and Oracle REST data services does the communication back and forth using HTTP. Okay. And this ORDS can be on WebLogic server, can be Jetty, or on Tomcat. It's a typical three-tier architecture. And in the last release, in the previous release, the current release in 18.1 and 18.2, we have something called as web source modules and REST-enabled SQL interfaces, right? So typically, which you use a REST to build your charts and reports. In 19.1, which is coming up soon, we also extended this feature into not just reports, but you now have REST-enabled forms. You can use REST services to build forms, right? Not just reports. For those of you who want to know more about this, I would suggest you go to Apex Office Hours website, and then you can watch the recording there. Okay, so I'm not going to deal with all these things. I just would like to quickly talk to you about Apex history and then jump into the demo. It's already 5:30, so let me do that. So we've been like 18 releases so far, and if you see 200 major plus major features introduced, Apex provides customers new technology on every upgrade without any disruption. So the code which you would have written way back in 1.5 still works on the latest 18.2. That's what Apex is for you, okay? You can never get this with any of the other technologies. So with Apex, currently we are on 18.2 release, and you're fast progressing with the 19.1 release, which is coming up this year. Currently we have the early adopter instance, and very soon you would have noticed on apex.oracle.com that is going to be upgraded to 19.1 pre-release in this weekend. I mean, I think today Pacific time, okay? What makes Apex unique? For those of you who are interested from the business side of it, it's a low-code platform, spectacular customer satisfaction and enthusiasm. The community, we have a global community of Apex developers worldwide, and longevity and ability to adapt to change, right? We have a free hosted instance, apex.oracle.com, and Apex, like I said, is native to Oracle database, zero latency data access, and you know that Apex is built using Apex, right? Apex is built using Apex framework itself. And we have advanced reporting, charting, forms, and whatnot, all of the web application components, right? I want to quickly list out what are the major features in 19.1. The major feature of Apex 19.1 is REST-enabled forms. We also have something called as dark mode, where you can switch between dark mode and the regular mode of your application builder. Okay. We also have data loading, new functionality. Like I said in the beginning, like you can drag and drop your Excel spreadsheets, your XLX files, your JSON, your XML into Apex interface and build application on top of that, right? And Apex architecture uses an application engine, not code generation. So low-code Oracle Apex is 20 times more productive than hand coding. With that said, I would like to switch to the live demonstration right now. I'll try to demo. If there is any network issues, I have a backup of my videos, which I would like to play for you. But I'll try to do a live demo as possible. Okay, we'll take the questions towards the end. Yes, please. Can you come again? Can we take the question towards the end? Okay. I would just like to finish my demo. I'm available after the session also. At 6 o'clock I'm going to close, but after that I'm available for you to talk. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I actually thought I'll use my early adopter instance, but it looks like there is some issue with the network, so I don't want to do that. So I would like to use my apex.oracle.com workspace. For those of you who are interested to know what apexea.oracle.com is, this is the early adopter instance, and I would suggest you to request for a workspace and learn more about the latest features. Okay, so how many of you have workspaces on apex.oracle.com here? Only 2. Okay, so this is a free customer evaluation instance which is provided for free for customers to try out and learn Apex. You can also test your applications, right? This is not for hosting your production applications. It's just an evaluation instance. And this is only for customers. Oracle internal employees have a separate instance, apex.oraclecorp.com. So if you are from Oracle, you shouldn't be using apex.oracle. You should be using apex.oraclecorp.com. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to, for my session today, I thought like I'll do this. I'll show you how to quickly build an application with no code. I'm not doing any coding there. And then what I'll do is I'll use little code, low code, and show you how to implement some functionality. And after that, I would like to use some more functionality and see how high control can be implemented in Apex. These are the 3 steps I typically thought of doing it. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to sign into my workspace here. Once you sign up for a workspace on apex.oracle.com, you'll be able to create applications. Okay. Better? Okay. So first thing that I would like to do is that when I want to build an application, I actually need an underlying database object, right? Either I create tables, right? On the fly, maybe I'll try to use SQL Workshop and build a script and then create some tables, or I can use SQL commands, or I can also use quick SQL and try to build some shorthand SQL and generate tables on top of that. So with no code, so if someone is a citizen developer who doesn't know anything about SQL, for example, they can go to SQL Workshop, Utilities, and go to Quick SQL, and the Quick SQL will help you to build shorthand SQL. You can just type down your syntax like this. For example, departments, and then I say name, and I say country. You see what is happening to the right side? It's automatically converting that into SQL. And if I like to have something like maybe employees underneath that, and say a child table, employees, and say employee name, and employee say location or whatever. See what is happening? It builds a parent-child relationship, right? Isn't it interesting to you? Very good, thank you. So if someone is completely new to SQL, Apex facilitates your SQL development also with Quick SQL. So don't be under the myth that I'm not a pro. I don't know much of SQL, PL SQL. How do I build applications? There are hundreds and thousands of citizen developers across the globe who build Apex applications and been using day to day, right? It doesn't mean that Apex is just low code or no code. Like my session today is to talk to you about how do I go from no code to low code to high control. So you can do anything possible on earth with Apex. Okay, sounds good? Okay, so towards the end of the session, because it's the last session for today, I need some help. I know most of you are smiling here, what I'm going to ask you. I would like to take a picture of you with hand waving as a token of, appreciation or whatever you call it. I would definitely love to have the pic, right? And if someone is having a nice camera, I would actually like to borrow and ask them to help me out. In fact, the organizers, okay? So please, once you really want to go, you can go. But if towards the end of the session, I would like all of you to come forward, just wave hands and say Apex, I'll be happy, okay? Last session for the day. Thank you so much. I don't feel shy asking you. I am just putting the request up front. There's someone who wants to go immediately after I'm done, so please spare for 5 minutes. All right, so let me come back to business. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you going to Quick SQL Workshop. So I'm not going to use Quick SQL right now, you know about it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to SQL script, and I'm going to run a script. I'm going to run a SQL script, which will help me to build a table, an employment table, and it will also populate some sample data for me. So I go to upload, and I upload the script here. I click choose file, and I have the sample table apex.sql. You can name the script. If not, you can just leave it as is. Click upload. Bear with me if there is network issue. All right, so my script is loaded. You can edit the script and see what the script contains actually. Let me just do that. Click this icon, pencil icon. And you see that it has got a PL SQL block, and it has got the create table statements and insert data statements, right? So I simply run this. So my table is created, and then the sample data is loaded into that. All right, so, and then I say run now. If it is taking too much time, I don't want to waste my time, so I would like to switch to videos. But I would like to do as much as possible live. We'll see. Want me to try run now again? Just give us let's give them 1 minute and then we'll move to the videos. Because it's taking time. It's 5:42 already. Okay. No worries, Malak. So let's see. Is it good? So I'll try to explain. I just prepared these videos just 1 hour ago. So there might be some issues, editing issues here and there, so please bear with me. I'll try to explain as much as possible. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to SQL Workshop. And then I'll go to SQL Scripts. And then you go to Upload. Load the SQL file, which has the create table and insert table statements. Right? Run that. Once you run this, click Run Now. Once you run this, Apex actually helps you to create an application right from the script, or else you can ignore the step from there and you can come back and then create. See, if you see here, create app from script, you see that all of the statements which are successful. Let me just drag this down. Create app from script, click that guy. Instead of that, you can directly go to the Create Application Wizard and create an application. For the Create Application Wizard, this is a low-code Create Application Wizard where you input the name of the application. You can also choose between appearance of your choice, right? Click Appearance, right? You can choose between different theme styles. I'm happy with what it is right now. And you see that Employment Interactive Report is already created for you by default, and a home page as well. And I would like to have all of the features as part of the application, right? Selected all of them, and it shows me the progress bar of how to create different pages. And showing creating features, I'm done. The next step I would like to do is, here I have not used any code, right? No code. So what I'm going to do now is to create a chart, basically. And I'm creating a line with area chart, giving it a page name. Click Next. And then I can choose a navigation preference. I want to create a new navigation menu entry. And then I can choose a source type of table or SQL query. I'm happy with the table as of now. So I'm picking up a table. The table that I created using the script is employment. So I'm picking the table. I'm searching the dialog. Just enter EMP, okay, employment. Pick that up. And you see there are different types of sources. You have local database, you have REST-enabled SQL and web source module. Click Next. The default orientation of this chart is vertical, right? What I'm going to do, I'm going to choose a label column as measurement date and value column as employees, and then click Create. Did I use any code here? Yes or no? No. So no code, right? I haven't used any code at all, right? Everything is no code here. Though I'm not happy with the chart at the moment. I would like to make some changes now, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to name the chart as employment. I'm going to come down, and I would like to use some static ID because I would like to use Oracle Jet libraries, API. So I would like to give line chart as a static ID. So what I'm typically doing is that giving a static ID, and then I'll hook it up with the Oracle Jet API. Okay, so I'll click Attributes, and it shows time axis type as mixed frequency. Don't want legend to be shown. And then come to Series. We have chosen table. Now I would like to move that to a SQL query. Okay, type. So I would like to do a SQL query now. Okay, and this is what I'm going to use. Select star from employment. I want to use an order by clause here. Order by state, measurement date, ascending order. Well, it's a typical example of what happens when you type down a wrong column. See what happens now. Okay. See, it shows an error message for you. So something wrong. So what do you want it to go? You want to go see the message, what's wrong there, inspect that, and fix that issue. The column name is misspelled. So just change that. Click that guy. Say validation. So click that. Yeah. Click OK and validate it now. Should be all good. Click OK. All right. So what else? Okay, so series name, you changed it to state. And label, I want to show the label as well. Saving the changes and running the page to see what happens now. All right, so I'm logging into my application. I've used my early adopter instance, in fact, here. So log into my application and to see how the chart would look like. All right. So here goes how the chart would look like once you make these changes. So typically you see year as well as the employees, right? State-wise in US for until 2017, you see Ohio, and you also see a New York State as well. You can see other states as well. All right. So that's the first demo that I would like to show you. How do you build quickly application with no code? You have not done any coding here at all, right? So let's see. Okay, the next thing what I would like to do is to improvise this a little bit with some little code. So I'm calling it as a low code. Let's see how the demo would look like. So you're convinced that it is no code right now? I just created an application on top of the script, and then I created a chart. The chart is showing me employment state-wise until 2017, 90 to 2017 US. And what I did is line with area chart, which is actually a jet chart in Apex. Right. The next step that what I'm going to do is improvise this with some little code. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to go to the same chart and going to click employment. I would like to create a button now. Click text button. And then I will drag and drop onto the copy region of the employment. Right? I'm giving a name as toggle. Basically, you would have noticed that the orientation is vertical by default. Now I would have to create a toggle, so to switch between vertical and horizontal. And I'm using low code for this. So what I'm doing, I'm giving a label to the button. I'm creating a label using low code. Okay? And then I would like to define a dynamic action. So I would like the behavior of the button to be defined by dynamic action. For those of you who are using Apex, I created a dynamic action. So right click the button and create dynamic action, giving it a name as toggle. Scroll down. And then it shows true and false actions. So for true action, I would like that to be executed by some little JavaScript code using low code here. So click this guy, and this is what the Oracle Jet script that I'm using, Oracle Jet API. So I would like to have a toggle button which will help me to switch between vertical and horizontal. I'm implementing that using low code. So click save. Now I'm going to run this page to see what happens. I have a beautiful toggle orientation button, which is created over there. I can switch between vertical and horizontal. Low code framework. Did I do anything more? I just used a snippet. And Apex helped me out in including that as part of the page, right? So where did I come from? I came from no code. I created an application. And then I thought, business requirements are there. I would like to have a toggle implementation, which is not available by default. It might be, but let me try out on my own. So let me use the Oracle Jet functionality, right? And then because it's native to Oracle, it's native to Apex now. So what I'm going to do, I have called some static ID, and then I have used the little JavaScript code, and then it helped me out to create a button, and then using dynamic action, I can now, which is again native to Apex, which is all declarative. So most of it is a declarative except the piece of code there, which is low code application development, right? So you're now convinced that we graduated from no code to low code. Am I correct? So let's see what is high control going forward. So closing this, and I'm going to the last one, which is a little complicated, a little complex one. So I'm going to use a big JavaScript API here, a complex, to be called in the complex from this context, not complex actually. Okay, so let's see what happens now. So I would like to create another chart now to be positioned side by side. So what I'm going to the same employment region, chart region, and then I'm going down here into the, and then dragging and dropping a chart region, which is adjacent to the employment chart. So I can have both the charts side by side now. I'm going to name this as average employment. So I would like to have an employment chart. I would like to have an average employment chart. I would like to implement this using high control or more code. So giving it a name, and then I would like this to be a pie chart. So my static ID would be pie chart for Oracle Jet framework to be used. So static ID pie chart. All right. Okay, so then I'll come to the attributes and change the default bar to pie chart. Give a name again to the title, average employment. Scroll down. And then I don't want to show the legend. Click no. Come to series of the pie chart. Click new. Give it a name, average employment again. And then I make this change from table to SQL query again. Like to use a select average employee state from employment, group by state, order by state. Simple SQL. They would like to give a label, which is state. And then I would like to give a value as average employees. Right? I would like to show the label here. Say yes. Scroll down to view the other attributes. And the next thing for me, okay, is to, sorry. So these are the edit issues. Apologies for that. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to create a static content region. I would like to build a legend. Now I have two charts. I would like to build a legend on top of the charts, which will help me to make some, to apply legend for both the charts using JavaScript. So what I'm doing now is I have a legend, title as legend. I like to have a static content region there. Scroll down, and then I would like to choose the templates to be as buttons container. So I'll have like buttons for each of the state. Okay, so buttons container basically is a region top of that. And then scroll up. I'd like to have some JavaScript here as well, source code, text. Right? Just give pie chart, line chart, and style as height, div. Just included some div. And then what I would do now is I'll go to attribute, sorry, I'll go to the page again. Click that, scroll down. Under JavaScript, execute when page loads. So this is where I'm embedding the jet. Okay. So this is the the Jet framework, the Jet script, the JavaScript that I'm copying and pasting there, which will help me to toggle and do the legend work. Okay, so go back and paste this in the code editor, and then say OK. It's all good. It also applies series to the colors and defines the legend data, and it also defines the legend entries, initialize the legend, and then defines an array, update each chart as well. So it does all whole lot of work for me using JavaScript. Okay, so it's high control now. So I need to code this, right? I need to embed the script. Okay, so now once I'm done with this, this is how my page looks like. So I have two charts side by side, employment and average employment. Look there, the moment I'm deselecting each of the states, the way the average employment as well as the employment charts are rendering, completely using high code, right? So see how I can do this. I can also still continue to toggle, right? And that's all for the demo side of it. I'm sorry that I couldn't do a live demo, but this is what I have. I hope you're convinced that what we did, we start from no code in Apex. We then used some little JavaScript, and we manipulated, we edited the chart and did some toggle orientation there, and then finally we created another chart, a pie chart, and then we implemented JavaScript framework there so that we can build a legend and initialize the legend and let legend do the remaining stuff for us. So we moved from no code in building an application, we did a low code, and then we also saw how high control can be achieved using Oracle Apex. Coming back to my slide deck again, I just have just a couple of slides, and then we'll wrap up. I will spare some time for questions. Okay, so some real world examples for those of you who are interested. I'm not going to talk to you about any customers at the moment. If you are interested to know about customers, references and all, you can feel free to talk to me later after the session. I just want to show you how Oracle is being used, Apex is being used within Oracle. We have Oracle Store, right? And these are the public websites. Oracle Store is built using Apex. Oracle Learning Library is completely built using Apex. LiveSQL, how many of you use LiveSQL here? Yeah, so LiveSQL is built using Apex. DevGym, those of you who are taking the DevGym challenges, DevGym is built using Apex. Your favorite Ask Tom is also built using Oracle Apex. So there's so many other examples. I just don't have space to accommodate all of them. And so let's see. Okay. And this is what I would like to finally convey to you. It's Apex and not Apex. So rest assured, I would like you to pronounce it as Apex going forward, and please let others who call it as Apex tell them it's Apex, please. Okay? I don't have stickers that I have on my MacBook. I wish I could, but maybe next time when we meet, you can ask me for stickers. I'll give you those stickers. And this is why I always want some pictures. So if you see, these are the pictures that we took last year across different conferences, right? In Oslo, or in Helsinki, we have in Stockholm, and we have also in Chennai and Hyderabad and Bangalore, of course. So I don't know if we can place this kind of photo next time, but definitely yes. So this is how the community is. The most passionate Oracle community is the Apex community. What Apex does, it delivers apex.oracle.com, which is a free evaluation instance for our customers to try out. We also have some learning material, lots of learning material on apex.oracle.com, which is also a marketing site for us, when you can go under Learn More, download the curriculum materials. You can also look for Apex on GitHub, Apex Learning on GitHub, and also you can also go through lots of hands-on labs. We have apex.oracle.com/HOLs. You can also try out the tutorials. And we also have Apex certification for those of you who are interested in getting certified with Apex. We have Apex 18 Developer Certified Professional, we just did in December last year. So that's all about my session. I'm open to questions. Thank you so much. And as I requested, someone can take a picture. For those of you who are at the backside, may I request you to come forward to help me out with a beautiful picture today evening, just raising hands. If it is okay with you, no compulsion. If you're happy with my session, put it in a fix. Thank you. Any questions? Any questions on Apex? Any questions on low code to high control? Can we take the questions after the photo? Is that okay with you? So that I don't lose people. Thank you. You can switch it off.